In social studies, we had to create an artifact using clay that could be printed using the sprout and the 3D Zortrax printer.
For the assignment, we had to either recreate an ancient artifact, or we had to put a modern twist on it.
For ours, we created Romopoly, which is a version of Monopoly, but using Roman numerals and helmets. Before starting this, we had to look up what all the numerals were and what this helmet meant.
Now we'll show you how to go through the process using the sprout and the 3D Zortrax printer.
This is the Sprout by HP that we use to scan and slice our 3D model before 3D printing it.
Now let's go into the 3D capture. We're going to click 3D capture. And then it will ask us to put the stage here, and the stage is what we're using to put the clay on to scan it. And then we'll scan the background when it's lined up. Click scan background.
Now that the background has been scanned, there's two positions we can put it on. This is tilted and the other is flat. For this specific model, we chose flat since our model is flat. Now we press Start Scan. The scanning cycle takes a couple minutes, so this is cycle 1.
So for the sake of time, instead of letting it finish go through, we're going to go to the next software.
After the first cycle, this is how it turned out. As you can see, if you do a couple more gaps, these gaps will be filled. But for the sake of time, we just did one cycle.
So now we'll take you to the next software. And this will fill in there.
In this step, we have two options to either close gaps or preserve gaps. We will choose preserve gaps because we found out that in the slicing software that the gaps fill in themselves. Now I want to continue to edit.
So now we're removing the model and the
Touch mat.
and we're going to export as an OBJ file and name it. We'll save the file and we'll start exporting it. Software we're using Z Suite.
So when you go into Z Suite, it will ask you what printer you have, and we have the Zortrax M200, and then you add files, and you look for your file, and it will open it in here.
Right now it's uploading the file into the software.
If you want to resize it, you have the option to resize it, and when we would normally scan it, we would fill in these gaps so that they aren't thin when they print, but for time purposes, we're going to continue.
So it just gave us an analysis on how well our thing is doing, and of course it's saying some parts are thin because we didn't do enough scans, but when you do this project you can do more scans to make sure it's good. So now we would add supports to ensure that it prints correctly.
You can add support to your object to make sure that when it prints, it doesn't fall over or get ruined. And you can change the level of your support based on how much you need. Support is normally used for taller objects to keep them up, but if it's flat like ours, you won't need as much support. And then you would generate so that it would fill in.
This is the final result after we put the supports on the thinner areas. Now we'll move on to print setting.
In print settings, you can choose your material group, and we use Zortrax materials, and then you can choose your material. We use ZABS. Then you can choose the type. There's 4 different ones. This is normal. Mesh uses a little bit less filament. Solid fills your whole object, and then shell only prints the outside. Then you can choose a pattern, and each one uses more or less filament. Now on to preview.
Right now it's animating how it would be printing, and on the side it shows the reports for how long it would take to print. So right now it's saying that it would take about 21 hours to print it, and for other projects, if the print time is too long, you can make it shorter by going back and changing the style and the type of filament how you want it to fill in.
Now we're going to go to export file. Okay, so now we're going to export the file, and we're going to save it the same name in the Zortrax E folder, and then save. And now we're going to bring the SD card over to the 3D printer once it saves the file.
Now we're taking the SD card out, and we're going to take it to the 3D printer. We're putting the SD card in the printer. You push it down until it clicks.
And then you can use the dial to go to the models and then click it. And now we're going to find our model and then click it. And now it's heating the platform, and once it's done, it's going to start printing our object.
After 21 hours of printing, this is how it came out.
And we've cleaned it up. We've taken the raft off the bottom, and the raft is just something that it prints on. And we've cleaned all of our supports to make it look like this. And this is our final model.